Om Kam Pushya Nakshatraye Namaha. Namaste everyone. So in today's video we are going to discuss the next nakshatra, Pushya. Pushya is quite an interesting star, a very special star, because similarly like Mrigashira, besides having its planetary ruler, Saturn, it is also governed by a deity who is a personification of a planet, Jupiter. So the qualities of Saturn and Jupiter are combined here in Pushya Nakshatra. So let us understand who is Jupiter or Guru Brihaspati, the ruling deity of Pushya Nakshatra. He is the selfless teacher of gods. He is the embodiment of all the spiritual teachings. He is the embodiment of all the wisdom. While which qualities Saturn is giving this nakshatra is the selflessness, ability to serve others unconditionally, ability to love others unconditionally, and to completely forget about oneself. So the qualities of these two grahas, Jupiter and Saturn, are very strongly present in that nakshatra. So let us have a look which other qualities it gives rise to. The name Brihaspati itself has Sanskrit root brih. That's actually the same root from which the name Brahma is derived. And brih means to expand, to grow something, to make something expand in all directions. Same like our universe, expanded from this one point of singularity with the power of Brahma, the divine creator. So Pushya Nakshatra is all about expanding things, which is why you will see that frequently people who are having grahas in this nakshatra, especially if there are more grahas present there, they like to make things big, They're always thinking in big scale, making big plans. And you see, if there are some krura grahas there, then yes, the person might be capable to actually fulfill those plans. But if there are too many, gentle planets there, or just one gentle planet there in Pushya Nakshatra, then it sometimes may end up that person may actually, have these big plans, big ambitions, but not enough determination to actually fulfill them, to actually make it happen. So what is very important with Pushya Nakshatra is to always, stay aware that, you don't make plan which is too unrealistic. Don't make plan which is too big, bigger than your abilities at the moment. So since Pushya Nakshatra is so much about the expansion, it's also the expansion of consciousness, expansion of imagination. So very frequently, Pushya Nakshatra natives are also very, very creative people. They can be creative in many different fields. They can have many different ideas and beautiful ideas very frequently. But once again, they just need to be careful that the ideas are not bigger than their current possibilities. Pushya literally means nourishing one. This is why Pushya Nakshatra is also one of the most nourishing lunar mansions. Especially when a very gentle graha is occupying this lunar mansion, you will see that these people have great nourishing ability. They're capable also, to love others really unconditionally. They're capable to love another child same like their own child. Same was seen even in the life of Guru Brihaspati, who was capable to love the child which was not his own, Buddha, exactly like his own. So you see, Pushya Nakshatra is also a very open-hearted nakshatra. It always wants to nourish. It always wants to give. And that's actually its beautiful quality. Pushya, as it has Saturn as its Vimshatari Mahadasha ruler, can be also one of the most selfless nakshatras. It's really capable to serve others selflessly, without any motive behind that. Yet one thing that Pushya Nakshatra natives need to be really careful about is, that they don't serve others to such an extent that their own family suffers. Because that's exactly what happened in the story of Guru Brihaspati, if you read it carefully. So this is also something that may happen sometimes, that due to serving others so much, these people may sometimes overlook or forget about their closest ones. And as Brihaspati, the god of expansion, is the presiding deity of that nakshatra, of course, these people are naturally very optimistic. They have very positive attitude towards life. Similar to Punarvasu. Yet once again, similarly to Punarvasu, they need to be really careful that they are not overly optimistic, to the extent of not seeing the real danger or the real problem and just covering it up with sugar, because that's not the point, really. So especially when these gentle grahas are occupying Pushya Nakshatra, this is what sometimes may happen, that there is too much of this positive attitude, too much of this willingness to see good in others, to the extent that person may overlook some real danger. Pushya Nakshatra natives are usually also very future-oriented people. They focus more on the future, what they will do in the future, which plans, which ambitions they are going to fulfill one day when circumstances will be great. But once again, due to this focus on the future, it gives them the ability to expand, of course. It gives them the ability also to fulfill their ambitions with time, but sometimes they may just overlook the present moment and the beauty and the blessings of the present moment and things they need to take care of right now in this very present moment. They don't like to take these very small steps. They already look to some distant goals in the future, and that's usually their weakness and something they need to work on. Contrary to the popular belief, Pushya Nakshatra can be also very ambitious actually. However, its ambitions are not necessarily materialistic. So it's not a very materialistic nakshatra. Its ambitions are frequently more of a spiritual nature. People with planets in Pushya Nakshatra, they somehow always want to expand, either to expand their influence or to expand their group of people, group of followers, to expand their teachings, their understanding. And through that, sometimes they may also be a little bit overly ambitious or may try to grasp too much at the same time. Especially surprisingly, Jupiter, who is exalted in this nakshatra, who is himself Brihaspati, the lord of expansion, can create this overly expansive quality, overly ambitious personality in those people. But once again, remember that ambitions of Pushya Nakshatra are rarely of this very materialistic nature. They're usually much more sophisticated. And since Brihaspati is frequently addressed as Vachaspati as well, Vachas means the speech. He's the lord of speech. He gives those people some type of power of voice. That's why you will see people with great oratory skills with this nakshatra. Sometimes great singers, great actors, or people who are very good in languages, or maybe public speaking. But there's something in their voice that is very powerful. Because you see, in Vedic tradition, the priests, the Brahmins, with whom Guru Brihaspati is associated, they were mainly chanting the mantras. They were delivering their teachings through the power of voice, through the power of the mantra. This is why practicing the mantras as well is a very powerful and very good practice for natives with planets with Pushya Nakshatra. Why? Because it teaches them how to use the power of their voice in the most constructive and most positive way. And of course, since Guru Brihaspati is the teacher of all the gods, this is why these people who have planets in Pushya Nakshatra can be great teachers. And they can be very good in teachings exactly those things that this planet sitting there is denoting. So they are capable to actually share their knowledge with others, deliver their knowledge with others, very frequently through the power of the voice. However, sometimes you will see great writers with Pushya Nakshatra as well. And of course, since Brihaspati is Guru of gods, he is also frequently called Brahmanaspati. So he is the god of all the Brahmins. He's the original priest. And there is something of a priest frequently in a Pushya Nakshatra person. This is why these people are almost always interested in some type of spirituality. Sometimes it can be spirituality, sometimes it can be occult sciences. In fact, with Krura Grahas occupying Pushya Nakshatra, it can be even black magic and, darker things like that. But Pushya Nakshatra natives, they always look more towards this spiritual side of life. Because, Brihaspati, he's the Lord of expansion. That also means expansion of consciousness itself, expansion of the mind. Because whenever you learn something in life, you need to expand your consciousness and grow beyond your current limitations. Pushya Nakshatra natives, especially when a very gentle Saumya Graha is occupying it, they are also some of the most generous people that you can meet. Generous not just in terms of sharing their wealth, but they can be very generous at their heart. These can be very kind people, very understanding people, people who are willing to nourish and help others no matter what, no matter the circumstances. So they have this willingness to share. That's actually the beautiful quality of this nakshatra, which is also the consequence of this quality of expansion, which is very inherent in this lunar mention. And of course, since Brihaspati is this guru of gods, he always has these very high ideals. Pushya Nakshatra natives can be very idealistic people as well, and their faith is always very strong. Whenever they believe in something, they believe in that fully. That's actually a very prominent quality of that nakshatra, which is why they need to be very, very careful that they choose the right beliefs. Because once they believe in something, they can be extremely stubborn about that. And it can be very hard for them to change that in themselves as well. So they need to be very careful what they believe in, which people they believe as well. So this faith can be actually focused on some higher goal. So that's just a little bit from me, in short, about Pushya Nakshatra. And if you want to learn more about Pushya Nakshatra, we already did Pushya Nakshatra webinar, which is, I believe, some 2.5 hours long. So you can already purchase it and watch it at your pace. But also, if you're interested in joining me in full nakshatra course, where we are learning about every nakshatra in very great detail, looking into mythology, into the deity, into the Vedas directly, looking into special degrees of the nakshatra, special padas, and the dynamism of the nakshatra itself, as well as looking into study cases. All of that you can learn on the ongoing nakshatra course, because we spend there really a lot of time on every nakshatra to make sure that you really learn about it and that you really get very, a strong feeling about what this nakshatra is about and how to interpret it and different grahas occupying it. So you have all the links below. That's all from me. And see you next time. Next time we'll be discussing Ashlesha Nakshatra. Namaste.